such beautiful music that I think, I was sitting in a classical orchestra myself 120 years ago. André Rieu isn't just a musician. He's a legend. With his magical violin and that warm smile, he's brought classical music to millions, making it fun, fresh, and full of heart. People travel across the world just to see him perform. And when he walks on stage with his orchestra, it feels like something straight out of a dream. But lately, fans have started asking, where is he? Is something going on behind the scenes? Some say there's been devastating news. Could that be true? Join us as we take a look at his journey, his stardom, and his recent silence that's left fans wondering if something heartbreaking is going on behind the scenes. A childhood surrounded by music, André Léon Marie Nicolas Rieu was born on October 1949 in Maastricht, Netherlands. Music was a big part of his life from the very beginning. His father, André Antoine Rieu, was a conductor for the Maastricht Symphony Orchestra. André grew up in a Roman Catholic family with 5 siblings, making him the third of 6 children. He started playing the violin when he was just 5 years old. Even as a child, André felt a deep connection to music. But while he respected his father, he didn't always agree with his strict ways. As he grew older, André wanted to do things his own way and moved away from his father's style of music. André studied at some of the best music schools in Europe. He trained at the Conservatoire Royal in Liège and the Conservatorium Maastricht between 1968 and 1973. There he studied under Joe Juda and Herman Krebers. Later, from 1974 to 1977, he went to the Music Academy in Brussels, where he studied with André Gertler. He completed his studies with the highest honor, called Premier Prix at the Royal Conservatory of Brussels. In 1975, André married Marjorie Kochman, a language teacher who also wrote music. Together, they have 2 sons. One of them, Pierre, works closely with André as a producer in the orchestra. The family lives in a small castle in Maastricht. According to André, the castle was once home to Charles de Batz Castelmore d'Artagnan, the same man who inspired the story of the 3 Musketeers. André is also a very smart man when it comes to languages. He can speak 6 of them: Dutch, English, German, French, Italian, and Spanish. In 2016, his net worth was estimated at $25 million. But money aside, what really matters is how he changed the world of classical music. The birth of the Johann Strauss Orchestra, André's biggest idea, came to life in 1987. That's when he created the Johann Strauss Orchestra. This wasn't just any orchestra. He started with only 12 musicians, and they gave their first concert on January 1st, 1988. But André had a dream that was much bigger than a small group. He wanted to make classical music fun and exciting again. So, over time, the orchestra grew. By the 2010s, it had anywhere from 80 to 150 members, depending on where they were playing. André also played a special violin, one made in 1667 by the famous maker Stradivarius. He didn't just stand on stage and play. He led the entire performance, smiling, joking, and connecting with the audience. That's what made the Johann Strauss Orchestra so different. André once said, "People are hungry for romance, for music that speaks to the heart." And that's exactly what he gave them. In fact, the way he performed reminded many people of the original waltz king, Johann Strauss II. This is why André later became known as the modern waltz king. His lively style helped bring a new life to waltz music. The orchestra's recording of the second waltz by Shostakovich even helped start a waltz revival in the Netherlands. André wanted his shows to be more than just music. In 2008, he brought a full-size replica of Empress Sisi's castle on tour. It was the biggest touring stage of its time. Everywhere they went, Europe, the Americas, Japan, Australia, the response was the same. Fans loved it. Music for everyone, everywhere. André didn't just perform in concert halls. His shows filled stadiums. From small towns to big cities, people packed in to hear him play. He wanted everyone to feel welcome, no matter how much they knew about classical music. His orchestra's music didn't just stay in Europe. They traveled the world, including North and South America, Australia, Japan, and New Zealand. André's goal was simple: to bring joy to as many people as possible. He believed music could bring people together. They recorded all kinds of songs: classical, folk, movie themes, and even musical theater. All of it was done at their studio in Maastricht. And it wasn't just live shows. André and his team made sure their concerts could be enjoyed at home, too. In 2003, PBS aired André Rieu Live in Dublin and André Rieu Live in Tuscany, both filmed in beautiful outdoor settings. In 2013, the UK channel Sky Arts did something unique. They renamed one of their channels Sky Arts Rieu for 2 weeks, from March 30th to April 14th. That channel played nothing but André Rieu concerts and documentaries. It was a huge success and showed just how big his fan base had become. Even with all this fame, André stayed connected to his roots. He often performed at the Friedhof Square in Maastricht, close to home. That's where fans from around the world come to see him. It's more than just a concert. It's a celebration, keeping it personal and passionate. While André's concerts are full of joy, he never lost the personal touch. The Johann Strauss Orchestra wasn't just a group of musicians. It was like a family. Some of the members, like Jean Sassin, have been with André since the very beginning in 1987. Over the years, the orchestra welcomed many guest singers too, like Carla Maffioletti, Marussia Loversa, Carmen Monarca, and the Platen Tenors. André also explored other creative paths. In 2014, he composed music for the film Tuscan Wedding, showing that his talents went beyond the stage. He always believed in following his heart, even when it meant trying something new. Still, he's best known for how he brings people together through music. His shows are full of humor, warmth, and energy. He often jokes with the audience, dances on stage, and even surprises fans with little acts of fun. This untraditional style is exactly what made him stand out in the world of classical music. As André once said, every concert is a celebration, and every celebration needs music that makes people feel alive. That's the spirit he brings to every show. André Rieu has a special place in the hearts of millions, but not everyone agrees. When it comes to his style, fans love him, but critics stay divided. In Australia, where his fan base is huge, some music critics have mixed feelings. One writer, Chris Boyd, said that André's role on stage is more about charm and sharing the spotlight than technical playing. Still, he didn't say Rieu was a bad musician. Another writer, Ian Kelly, came to Rieu's defense. He pointed out that it's wrong for journalists to use lazy stereotypes to put him down. Kelly said that even though many of André's fans aren't regular classical music listeners, he brings them closer to this world. Rieu's live and recorded performances have brought joy to millions of people, Kelly wrote, and he added that just because André plays easy and fun music doesn't mean he lacks talent. Rieu's success in Australia proves that the public loves him. By the end of 2008, he had reached his 100th Platinum Award there, and by 2011, he had sold over 50 million worth of CDs and DVDs in Australia alone. He was the best-selling artist in the country from 2006 to 2011. That's a huge achievement, especially for someone playing classical music. But what about other countries? The reactions were just as colorful. Different views across the world. In the United Kingdom, André Rieu's concerts also made big news. One of his shows in Maastricht became the highest-grossing concert film in British history at the time. But not all reviews were kind. Tom Service, a critic for The Guardian, said Rieu's show turned great classical pieces into saccharine fodder, meaning overly sweet and too commercial. Still, not everyone agreed with that view. Another writer from The Guardian, Alfred Hickling, said critics were missing the point. He compared Rieu to Johann Strauss II, saying that both were smart businessmen and entertainers. In other words, André knew exactly what he was doing, and his fans loved it. In the United States, Rieu's fame wasn't as big as in Europe or Australia, but he still found a loyal audience. Nina Segal from the New York Times called him a maestro for the masses, if not the critics. She compared him to Liberace, known for flashy and fun performances. In her interview, Rieu responded to those who call his music schmaltzy. He said, "I'm trying to create a Gesamtkunstwerk where music, decor, and costumes all add up to a magical evening." Dean Payton from the Christian Science Monitor also attended one of Rieu's concerts in 2017. He said it felt more like a pop concert than a serious classical event, but he also pointed out that it worked. People were smiling, clapping, and dancing. He compared Rieu's popularity to famous names like Arthur Fiedler and Leonard Bernstein, both known for bringing classical music to wider crowds. A castle, a love story, and a family dream behind all. The lights and music, André Rieu has a quiet personal life. He's been married to his wife Marjorie for 47 years. That's not something you hear every day in show business. Marjorie is a language teacher and a music writer herself, but she doesn't like being in the public eye. In one interview, she said she didn't want to be known only as André's wife. The couple has 2 sons and 5 grandchildren. One of their sons, Pierre, works closely with André as a producer. Even though Rieu travels the world, home is still Maastricht, the Dutch city where he was born. And what a home it is! André lives in a castle built in 1492. As a child, he visited the same castle for his piano lessons. Back then, he told himself that one day he'd live there. That dream came true. Today, he hosts interviews and welcomes guests at the castle, which is named Dean's. It's filled with chandeliers and artwork, just like he imagined as a young boy. But not all of André's dreams worked out perfectly. In 2008, he designed a giant fairy tale castle for a concert in Vienna. The project cost around 24 million euros. It looked amazing, but it nearly ruined him. He later admitted the event left him bankrupt. Still, he recovered and moved on, proving, once again, that passion can come with big risks. Records and health scares for the years, André Rieu has recorded many albums. He works out of his own studio in Maastricht and records both CDs and DVDs. His music includes classical pieces, pop, songs, folk tunes, soundtracks, and songs from musical theater. He has sold more than 40 million recordings. Some albums even went gold and platinum in countries like the Netherlands and Australia. Some of his most popular albums are From Holland with Love, 1994, The Vienna I Love, 1996, Romantic Moments, 1998, 100, Years of Strauss, 1999, The Flying Dutchman, 2004, Falling in Love, 2016, Amore, 2017. Each one offered something new, but kept his joyful, easy-to-love style. André is still active today. In 2023, he's on tour again with the Johann Strauss Orchestra, performing across Europe and the United States. He also keeps releasing music. In recent years, he's put out albums like Happy Together, 2021, and Silver Bells, 2022, both featuring his orchestra. But there was a time when his health caused some concern. From the time he started performing until 2010, André had never fallen seriously ill. Then he developed a viral ear infection that forced him to take a break. It was scary because it came out of nowhere. When he finally went to the doctor joked, "Mr. Rieu, you are a miracle. Your heart beats in 3/4 time." That moment became a story fans love to repeat. It's funny, but also very fitting. After all, André Rieu built his life around the waltz, a dance that moves to a 3/4 beat. You see, André Rieu has performed to millions and filled stadiums all over the world. But what truly sets him apart is his deep love for the waltz. Why André Rieu fell in love with the waltz. It all began when he was a little boy, sitting in the audience at one of his father's concerts. His father was a conductor who played many styles of classical music. During the main part of the concert, André noticed something. The audience was quiet, very still. No one dared to move. But then came the encores, usually Strauss waltzes, and everything changed. People around him started to move, smile, even hum along. It felt like the music had unlocked something inside them. Young André was amazed. That moment stayed with him. He remembered thinking, "My God, this is what I want to do." From then on, the waltz wasn't just a piece of music for André. It was a way to connect hearts. That early memory shaped the rest of his life. He didn't just want to play music, he wanted people to feel it. And he wanted to bring that joy to as many people as possible. Years later, that childhood dream would turn into one of the most successful music tours in the world. Building his own orchestra, André didn't want to be part of a typical orchestra. When he was younger, he joined a symphony orchestra but found it disappointing. His fellow musicians were more interested in complaining than celebrating their work. They talked about money, the cold, and when they get holidays. André was upset. He said, "Nobody spoke about, 'Oh my God, the concert yesterday was so beautiful.' Never. So he did something bold. He decided to build his own orchestra. But not just any group of musicians. He chose people who truly loved performing. People who wanted to be on stage for the joy of it, not for the paycheck or vacation time. That's how the Johann Strauss Orchestra was born. This special team grew to include about 60 musicians, ranging from age 18 to 80. Some even came from the same family. With them, André performed waltzes that brought crowds to their feet. They didn't just play music, they created magic, and that magic reached people far beyond Europe. The Grand Castle Tour in 2008, André made a huge decision. He created a full-size replica of Schönbrunn Palace, the Grand Castle outside Vienna. He took it on tour with dancers, horses, and his entire orchestra. It was a massive show. The costs were sky-high, and it nearly bankrupted him. But he called it his best and worst decision. Of course, recreating a castle was completely stupid, he joked in an interview, but it bought the best publicity. His name shot into the top 10 touring acts worldwide. That success came with its own challenges, but nothing could prepare André for the emotional blow that was just around the corner. Fame and fortune meant little when tragedy struck close to home. A sudden loss broke André Rieu. In December 2016, André faced one of the most difficult moments of his career during his UK arena tour. Tragedy struck when one of his longtime orchestra members suffered a heart attack. This wasn't just a colleague, it was someone who had played with the Johann Strauss Orchestra for over 20 years. André first postponed the Nottingham show after the emergency, hoping things might improve. But when the musician remained in critical condition, he made the heartbreaking decision to cancel more shows. The concerts in London, Birmingham, Manchester, and Glasgow were all postponed. André explained his decision in a touching message. He said, "This should have been the most wonderful time of the year, but many of my orchestra members have been with me for more than 25 years. We are a family." The word family was key. This wasn't about business or ticket sales. It was about people he truly cared for. Fans were understanding, even though they had been excited to see the performances. André added, "Our hearts and thoughts are now with our colleague and his family." Everyone hoped for good news. Sadly, that didn't happen. On December 23rd, the tragedy deepened. The musician who had fallen ill was confirmed to have passed away. His name was Ruud Merckx, a Dutch trombonist only 47 years old. He had played with André since 1994. Ruud's sudden death left the whole orchestra devastated. André spoke again, clearly shaken by the loss. "Many of my orchestra members have been with me for more than 25 years. We are a family. We are deeply saddened by this tragic event, and it is impossible for us to continue our tour as planned," he said. Ruud's wife, Alina Linjong, is also a violinist in the orchestra. She too had shared the stage with André for many years. This was not just a musical loss, it was personal. The fans, the orchestra, and André himself were united in mourning. Refunds were offered, and new dates were promised. But what mattered most at that time was grieving a friend. The loss of Ruud Merckx reminded everyone that even in the world of music and lights, real life can come crashing in. And when it does, it changes everything. Another heartbreak. The silence. Of 21 years after the loss of Ruud Merckx, André Rieu faced another heartbreak. This time, not from illness, but from circumstances no one could control. The stage went silent in 2021. He had to cancel his much-loved summer concerts in Maastricht, his hometown. These concerts were special. Every year, people came from all over the world to experience the magic. In 2019, around 150,000 fans from 90 different countries gathered to celebrate under the stars. But in 2021, the music was silenced. The reason was pandemic restrictions. Despite the world slowly reopening, the Dutch government wasn't ready to allow large public events. André had already sold over 100,000 tickets for the series. Still, safety came first. It was a heavy decision. In a heartfelt message to his fans, André wrote, "It is deeply sad to inform you that our traditional open-air concerts on the Vrijthof in Maastricht can't take place this year either." He shared how much he and his orchestra were longing to play again. "My orchestra and I long for these evenings as much as you do." André spoke openly about how much joy these concerts bring to everyone, young and old. The feeling in the crowd, the dancing, the laughter, it's what he lives for. But he also knew that joy only works when everyone is safe. "Unfortunately, this is still not possible in 2021, and your safety is, of course, my top priority," he said. Fans were disappointed but supportive. After all, André had always put people first. He promised to reschedule and give everyone something to look forward to. Behind the scenes, his team worked hard to make that happen. André's message ended with hope. The waltz must go on, and it will go on. Just like that, he reminded the world that music may pause, but it never truly stops, not in his heart and not in the hearts of those who follow him. Now, while André tours the world, his heart stays in Maastricht. Staying close to home, that's his hometown in the Netherlands. And it's where he lives with his wife, Marjorie. They met there, married there, and raised their children there. Their love story has lasted more than 47 years. Marjorie is a teacher and has also written music, but she likes her privacy. In an interview, she once said she didn't want to be known just as André's wife. The couple lives in a castle that was built in 1492. It's not just any home, it's a dream come true. As a boy, André took piano lessons in that same castle. He dreamed of one day living there with chandeliers, paintings, and music. Today, that dream is real. He uses the castle to meet guests and hold interviews. People often ask why he doesn't move to New York or London, but André laughs and says, "Life in Maastricht is easier. When I go to my studio at the other side of the city, it's 10 minutes when my driver drives and 3 minutes when I drive." He said, "Compared to the traffic in big cities, that's true luxury." Even with his success, André remains grounded. His home life and his music are closely connected. And when tragedy struck in Paris in 2019, he didn't just watch from afar. Giving back through music and more, in April 2019, a fire destroyed part of the famous Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris. People around the world were heartbroken. André Rieu was one of them. He tweeted, "Deeply shocked by the dramatic images from Paris." But he didn't stop there. He offered something big, 700 tons of steel scaffolding from his Schönbrunn Palace stage set. He hoped it could be used to rebuild Notre Dame. At the time, it wasn't clear if his offer would be accepted, but his gesture spoke loudly. André knows what it means to build something beautiful, and he knows how quickly it can be lost. That's why he also supports music education. In December 2019, he donated $425,000 to the Youth Fund Culture Limburg, a fund for young people in his region. The goal, to give 1,000 children the chance to learn music. He said music was underrepresented in schools, and many kids never get the chance to play an instrument. André shared his own memory, saying, "We were all given the chance to have music lessons since our childhood. He and his orchestra members know how powerful that gift can be. We understand better than anyone else what it means if you do not get that chance," he said. Each year it costs about $425 to give one child music lessons. André's donation not only covered 1,000 students, but also brought attention to the issue. He hoped it would inspire others to donate too. And while his heart is in giving back, André hasn't slowed down. He's still touring. In 2023, he continued to perform across Europe and the US, releasing new albums like Happy Together and Silver Bells with the Johann Strauss Orchestra. Despite the size of his shows and the spotlight, André Rieu remains the same boy who once sat in the audience watching people smile, dance, and hum to a Strauss waltz. That moment changed his life, and now he spends every day trying to give that same joy to the rest of the world. The man behind the music, in his own words, when asked about how it all began, André Rieu shared that music was always in his home. His father was a conductor, and his mother chose the violin for him. He started playing at age 5 and fell in love with its sound right away. "Ever since I heard the romantic sound of that instrument, I fell in love with it, and the love never stopped," he said. One piece that truly touched his heart was Gold and Silver by Franz Lehár. He remembered being at his father's concerts. When he was young, the audience would sit very still until his father played a waltz as an encore. Then, suddenly, people would move, smile, and even dance. André couldn't believe it. He said, "Apparently, it was the music that made them do that." That was the moment he knew what he wanted to do with his life. André believes waltzes carry every emotion: love, harmony, even sadness. He joked, "A waltz a day keeps the doctor away." That joy in the music is why he also includes dancing in his concerts. It all started when he was too shy to speak on stage. One day, a guest grabbed the mic and said, "Come on, let's dance a little bit." And that's how dancing became a regular part of his shows. He also shared a personal story about his Stradivarius violin. He used to play a 1667 model made when the violin maker was engaged. André said, "You can hear the love in that violin." Now he plays a 1732 Stradivarius, and although he doesn't know who owned it before him, he treats it with deep respect. What makes his shows different, André said, is one word: authenticity. He explained, "We feel every note we play, and then we try to translate that feeling to the audience. This real emotion is what keeps his fans coming back." Speaking of which, André's concerts match his big personality. They feature dancers, soloists, golden chairs, and ball gowns. He says, "My concerts are about joy and love." He mixes waltzes with show tunes and even pop songs like Mambo No. 5. He chooses songs with his heart, not by category. "We should stop limiting ourselves with boundaries in music and in life," he said. His concerts are filmed, shared online, and watched by millions. Coming up, André is set to perform again in his hometown from July 3rd to July 6th, 2025. He'll return to the Vrijthof in Maastricht, where thousands of fans from around the world are expected to join him. For those lucky enough to attend, the magic continues. Have you ever been to an André Rieu concert? And what's your favorite piece of music he's ever performed?